Hello, and thank you for joining our fireside chats at the European Cardano community. I am Marcus, one of the core team members, and if you like what we are doing, please consider supporting our individual projects. At time of this recording, these are Davide's Rookies Game, Ricardo's Web3 user group, or delegating to my Cardano stake pool with the ticker birth to support us at Larissa Health. You will find the links to our guests and our projects below the video. Now hit the notification bell, give us a thumbs up, and enjoy this session.
Yay! Hello! Welcome everybody to another fantastic fireside chat for the European Cardano community. That's the first one of 2024. I think that it will be a very relaxed one, but I'm really enjoying every appointment we have together. So I'm sure that it will be another amazing town hall.
Hello. Hello, Stefania. Hello, James.
Hey,
Nice to see you.
Hey.
nice to see you as
Hi,
well.
Stefania.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, everybody,
Exactly.
indeed.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Hey, Martin. How are you? I also see
Hey.
Shit in the line. Hey, Simon.
Hey.
Oh, this is filling up too fast. We need to stop this. There's too many people here now. No, this is beautiful. This is amazing. If everybody wants to turn the video on, you're highly welcome. Otherwise, just keep it off. But yeah, we're highly welcome to turn it off. To turn it on. Hello. Wonderful.
Yes,
Right?
it is. Yes, as usual.
Very cool. I guess then we can start with our first slides, and very quickly we will come to our guests. We have amazing people today. And yeah, Davide, let's go to the traditional candidates.
I'm not presenting. Sorry, guys.
Don't
I
worry.
thought,
We're all
put
still
the
on
full screen
holiday.
on.
It's still
Yes.
on vacation.
Yeah, we are more or less. The mood is that. Okay, this is our the general mantra that we translated here and there in many different European languages, and usually gets us in a very big mess, and it's extremely funny. So I will start kicking off because the first one is Italian. Benvenuti all'esperimento.
Les choses peuvent
Kepra, fehlende Dokumentation.
differ greatly between the iterations.
Disorient, overload, and inspire.
Our goal is to provide a safely and lively environment for you to explore the highest potential de la colaboración humana.
Davide, did you actually finally find out how do you speak the Greek part here?
I used to because I asked my wife, but I forgot now.
Don't say you're not listening.
No, she's not
I
here.
actually study Greek,
Ah,
but
cool.
yeah, asphales, but I'm
Asphales. Exactly. That's
Asphales,
cool.
yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Asphales.
Very cool.
This is
Cool, cool, cool,
amazing.
cool.
Cool. Very much.
Perfect. And
So-
we have our own mantra for the European Cardano community.
Yes, you're right. So I should switch the slide.
Keep your notes up to date. There's a new version out since a few weeks now. Try to study or learn something new every day. Everybody's here for that. Support and connect with community members for synergy goals. I think that is cross-chain. Be inclusive, friendly, and wise with words, even in anger. Share information without destroying dreams, people, or the reputation. Have fun today.
Yes.
Much.
Let's
Very
go. Yeah, let's remember that it's a new year. Happy New Year, everybody. It will be a year full of success for every participant of the European Cardano. I can ensure that.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Yes, it's
Many variables, but yeah, I think there is a lot of optimism at the moment in the
no,
crypto.
no, no, wait. My technical analysis says so.
Your technical analysis. That's good.
I'm
Right.
still waiting for the huge dip.
Yeah.
It's around about 10 months or so.
Mhm. And also that remember that we keep having Twitter spaces in many different languages of European Union. So if you want to host another Twitter space in your own languages, you are more than welcome. Please get in touch with us. Any of the team member will be very happy to organize it. We are actually having spaces in different languages already. We have had the Spanish one, the Serbian one, Italians, couple of times, Greek. We have many of them. If we can have more in different languages like German or French or even anything else, that would be amazing.
And if you have a different topic, you can join too. For example, we host once a month an SPO space with Mladen from Rumopool, and we have there one European SPO that talks about himself and how he got into Cardano and how he's running his stake pool. Maybe he's running on different networks too, so you might learn something completely new.
Yes. And let's start with our fantastic guests. The first one is TapTools. Welcome, welcome, welcome. One of the most common and famous names in our ecosystem.
Hello, James. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know between the years and now before the official start of 2024, there are a lot of things going on. I'm a big fan of TapTools. I myself own a couple of Tappies, so really fan. And yeah, kick it off. The stage is yours. Yeah, after a slot of 15 minutes, we will go for a 5 minutes Q&A if you're okay with that.
And what is the
Yeah,
intern?
for sure.
Did you bring the
Sounds great.
intern?
I know everyone was waiting for the intern. I don't know if he's
Yeah.
ready for a stage like this yet, but I do have better news. I got our CEO actually joined as well, Alec. He is here with us, so he'll
Okay.
be speaking. But Alec, if you're here, feel free to say hi as well, and Happy New Year to everyone.
Yes, hello everybody. I appreciate you having us. We're happy to be here, and Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year's to all. So I can just start by telling you a little bit about myself, kind of what brought us into crypto. So my name's James. I'm the COO and the co-founder of TapTools. So I handle all the operations, mostly people operations, such as hiring and just managing the team. Additionally, I'll help with some internal operations, some design input, feature input, and of course, when possible, making some appearances like these. It's always great to meet everyone. We really appreciate your support. So, but really, I guess what just got us into this space was just wanting to be a part of something big as far as crypto, and having a little bit of an entrepreneurial mindset. So I'll shout out Alec for that one. We played basketball in college together, and everyone knows in college you're usually scraping change together. But he ran a vending business at a couple of the big football teams around Michigan. So on the weekends we'd go and vend, make a little extra cash thanks to him. And but he had that entrepreneurial mindset that really kind of inspired me to think maybe we can do something ourselves, you know. And when we saw crypto emerging, we want to be a part of something new and something kind of on the edge. So Al, shout out to you for getting me into it and believing in myself. But at the end of the day, us co-founders, we really just wanted to win. We saw what was happening with crypto a couple of years ago. So started a little fun, did some trading together, and eventually figured it might be better to start building instead of trading. But I'll hand it off to you, Al.
Yeah, to kind of piggyback on that, I appreciate the compliment, James. But
Yeah.
I told James, and there was a thing we had an incubator fund. So it was like, okay, well, how do we get in this space? We started an incubator fund and pooled some money together with us friends, and we started getting in ecosystems. And lo and behold, ADA was our largest holding, and we really wanted to dive into the ecosystem, but there really was nothing there. But to kind of backtrack, I told James, like, we should really build in this space. And, if we had a CTO or someone strong that understood how to build and build software, we could do some cool things. And we ended up going to San Antonio to an Airbnb with James's buddy from high school, which is our CTO. Incredible. And he's the biggest piece of our team. And yeah, we stood in a room for 3 weeks together and just kind of figured it out.
Yes, sir.
And that's when you got to the penguins?
No, that was a long ways to get there.
Long ways away.
Why penguins?
Always been a fan of penguins. Always been a fan of penguins. But I do think that it did have some symbolism, because a penguin is pretty much withstanding the harshest environments in the world and managing to thrive in one of the harshest places. So I thought it was somewhat ironic and fitting that we did this. Really, a lot of TapTools came throughout the bear market when it really was hard to build, and the market wasn't exactly looking the best. So I thought a penguin was quite fitting as well.
I thought it was something related to the Linux logo.
To the what logo?
Linux. the operating system? No.
No, it's just a passion for the animals, I guess.
Okay.
But I know you guys. I believe the next question we were supposed to ask was, why Cardano and our journey to get here. So I can lead into that. But
Yeah.
really, like Al was saying,
The primary one. Forget the first question.
interrupt me at any time if anyone's got any additional questions. But I can touch a little more on just our journey to get here. But like Al said, it really was our largest holding when we were doing like a little fun together, just trying to get our feet wet into the cryptocurrency landscape and do some trading. And we all believed in the mission. And for a time, this was our largest bet was on ADA. So I think at one point it was more than like 70% of our holdings. But I can't say I'm the most knowledgeable on the technical aspects. But I remember hearing about Cardano for Africa. I remember watching Charles on YouTube. And I remember the first time I experienced some pretty unnoticeable gas fees compared to what I was facing in Ethereum. So a couple of those moments really stuck with me, but that was kind of my first time just being introduced and really just seeing the ecosystem and getting involved in it. I don't know if it's the same for you, Al, but.
The core was decentralization. How do we change the world? And listening to Charles speak, it was just like, hey, like, whether it's Cardano or anything else, like just blockchain in general is going to help change the world. And I really liked what Charles was saying. And we kind of joined the board. And the thing was community is everything. And we noticed that the community was the strongest over here. And that's kind of what really kind of we gravitated towards where the people were at, at the end of the day.
Can I just add something here? I really think that Cardano has got one of the strongest community. I cannot see anything like that. And the only thing that started to be is nothing comparable because it's just kind of nascent, very nascent, is the Bitcoin ordinal community. That's kind of also very united, very strong. But the Cardano has got really the strongest community I ever seen. And that's the beauty of, a project like Cardano, is really having a community that help each other, that is really very positive, is inclusive, and is also united as well. You don't find it on any other layer one. I mean, on Bitcoin, they are mainly all maxi. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And we feel that every day, especially on X, we hear the community. We feel that love and the support. So I couldn't agree more. It really is, it's overwhelming sometimes in a very positive way. So we appreciate it.
But are you considering to add other blockchains as well?
It's a fantastic question. We've talked about it a lot. And the thing is I think it's a time thing, right? And I think a lot with the Cardano community is if you start adding other ecosystems, they kind of want our ecosystem and kind of screw everybody else. Obviously, it could be different for everybody, but I think the majority of people are like, we're Cardano. Like if you add Ethereum, like we're kind of swaying away from our people and our community. And I think it's been a decision we've been gandering for a long time.
So. Yeah, we've definitely discussed it. But yeah, that thought is in our head for sure, about just how would the community interpret it if they knew that all of our efforts were going into this one space. So we haven't done it yet, and we haven't decided to, but it was certainly something about at points.
One of the next projects would be probably then probably Ergo, right? Which is the closest to Cardano at the moment. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on though in terms of so on my way, I have to think about how to scale our users, how to scale revenue, in a business of how do we really grow, and we have to go towards where the people are at, and so it's a struggle of pulling that trigger to go that route or just continue to maintain. We have a lot of work to do here on Cardano, so it's not like we're going to do this anytime soon. We're releasing a lot of good products within the next 6 months or so. So our 6-month roadmap, I mean, we're all Cardano. But after that, if we come to a stall or a standpoint or a standstill, then we might have to think outside the box. But, for now, our focus is Cardano.
I would have a question to you both regarding the user experience and the feature set that you have developed. Anytime I try to figure out, okay, where can I find this information or that information, I know almost blindly that if I go to TapTools, I will have that information. So how did you manage to create such a strong platform? Are you interacting with, I don't know, beta testers, or how is your user experience path? Because I really enjoy your platform quite a lot, and I see that you're having more and more integrations, and so it's becoming a more like complete environment. Maybe you could tell us the journey.
Yeah, I think just to kick off with two things, and then I'll pass it to you, Al. But one, I think it's worth noting our CTO has a pretty deep background as a data scientist. So he's always been in the weeds of data. He used to have a job for Kellogg's. And it might not be as exciting, but nonetheless, like just exploring different categories of data on how to utilize data. So he definitely has a lot of the creative mind of how to leverage certain data points and convey them to a user that will be useful. But another really, I mean, we can't go without mentioning our lead designer, Tanner, who we're so fortunate to have met. And it kind of just, you know, when you're working hard, it seems like the right things just fall into place. But we definitely, you know, struggled for a while trying to find the right designer to make it a good UI and UX experience. But our designer, Tanner, just knocks it out of the park every time. And the team certainly gives a lot of input. And we are the beta testers. The team is the one who's, you know, everyone, when there's a new link or a new mock or an update, we are the ones who are in there trying to, you know, just feel it out, you know, make sure it's as smooth as possible. But complete props to those two for really just, I mean, they work together great. They both have great experience in it. And I mean, it seems like Tanner's always doing a beautiful job with the design. I think that's something we're really proud of. So I appreciate your shout out as well.
Yeah, we do appreciate the shout out. I still think that we can make it a lot better. And obviously you want me to think that way, but since the beginning, I will give it to the community. You know, feature requests. We have a list of, you know, hundreds, and still, you know, we're trying to evaluate and kind of plug into where we're going. But to piggyback up what James said about Jacob, he told me, you know, at Kellogg's, it was not about new data; it was existing data sets, and how do you parse this in a way to squeeze extra things or, you know, show extra data points. And so it was big pieces, Jacob, and obviously we have a strong team of crypto enthusiasts. So, you know, obviously we have our pointers, but it's like taking what the community is telling us and saying, hey, they want this. And once you hear it so many times, they want this, let's plug it in. Let's find a way and let's make it, you know, obviously a great UX for the user base.
Very nice.
Yeah. I also have a question, if it's possible. You are one of the most famous project that comes from Project Catalyst funding round. How was your experience with Catalyst? How did you feel about it? And do you plan to get back to it for expanding your project?
Great question.
Well, it is a great question. And go ahead, start it off, Jim.
Yeah, I can at least say this. I know people have varying opinions on the process of Catalyst, right? Some people may prefer certain things to be done a certain way, or some people are huge fans of the way things are done. But a huge moment, and just first of all, like, shout out to Catalyst, because for so long we were in a position where we were scraping by, you know, out of our own checks, working extremely hard to just then turn it around to fund TapTools and put everything we had into this. So I will say, like, shout out to Catalyst. I will never forget hearing the news that we got funded for the first time ever, because it completely changed the trajectory of our business. And Al was one of the first calls I made. I ran out of my office of the building I was in, and I called Al and I screamed. I might have used some profanity, but I said, let's go, you know, like, it was one of the greatest moments of my life. It was emotional for me personally. And it was massive for the business. But and same thing with Jacob, our CTO, our other co-founder, called him right away afterwards. Like, I was at my desk in my 9 to 6 job, and I got up and ran out of the office. So people can say whatever they want about the process, but I mean, I'm extremely thankful for them, or for the fund in general, and for the Catalyst process. So it definitely helped us.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Did you shout at the same time I quit?
No, it wasn't that quick. It wasn't that quick. I walked back in pretty shortly after. So I just had a great drink, you know.
Someone not coming from the data world or tech world, you know, I didn't realize how much it truly costs. You know, data's not a cheap gig, And what we did was five of us friends pooled money together to start this business, and we created it, and we had it out there for free for 6 months or so, and we were just losing money every month. We didn't make $1 for, I think, close to a year in this business, obviously aside from Catalyst. But if it wasn't from Catalyst, we wouldn't be in the same position we're in, and we wouldn't have been able to build out the Pro Tools as quick as what we did. With the lump sum of money, we were able to hire a couple extra people and kind of scale the process. We still didn't charge for any services until a year after we started the company. So we squeezed by Catalyst funding until we didn't have $1, and that's when we released our TapTools Pro in order for us to sustain the next 12, 14 months of the company. And we're continuously releasing new products out there, which we can kind of discuss in the next. But yes, shout out Project Catalyst.
Can I ask you what kind of benefit or what would be the overall value that you got from Catalyst? I get the money side, just a good lump that can help you to get get things started. But if you have to describe overall the value of Catalyst, what would you say? I guess it's not just money, right? This is what I think, but.
I want to say exposure and things like this, but it's a fantastic question, because the way I always looked at it was just incubate. It was a funding piece that helped us scale and really helped the Cardano community in general, because the tools we provide is so beneficial for any trader or anybody who's holding assets in Cardano. But I'll leave this one to James, because to be honest with you, I don't know if I have a great answer.
No, I'm happy to.
And James, maybe to expand.
I'm happy to step in here. I hope I'm not.
Yeah, maybe to expand on that, if you can kind of say the expectation that you had and what actually you got as a value afterwards. I think that would also be interesting.
Yeah.
What helps, if I might chime in?
For sure. I hope I'm coming through okay.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear
you. Okay, yeah, just want to touch on that question before it just slipped away from me because of connection. But one of the biggest things I think, as far as expectations for the process, was we were new to the, to that process in general, and it almost seemed too good to be true. But as Alec was kind of touching on, the fact that even exists blew my mind, and the fact that there was opportunity for people who had an idea of innovation or had an idea to create something in this space and help this ecosystem grow. It's a blessing. I mean, you really can't overstate it. The fact that there is people out there who are willing to allocate funds just to people that really want to work hard, believe in this space, and create something great that we all can use. But as far as expectations, I almost thought it was too good to be true. I didn't really think it would happen. I was like, okay, well, we'll make our proposal. I hope this works. But another great thing we got from it was it gave me a sense of community recognition. Because in the beginning, it wasn't like everyone was telling us, you guys are great. It wasn't like we had 30,000 followers. But then when we saw that these people voted for us, it gave me a whole new sense of belief. And I'm sure it does that for other projects too. This is a community-led decision on where to allocate a pretty large sum of money at a lot of times. So it means the world to know that it's, it's a real vote. It's a democracy of sorts.
Yeah,
the storyline of you guys investing your own money, your own time, the friends' fund basically, and bringing first something to the table and saying, this is what we have built. It's for free. It's for the community. I think this type of behavior goes a long way in the Cardano ecosystem. And this is also why, I think that this is why so many people are not only with the mind, but also with the heart in the environment. And I mean, on a very smaller scale compared to what you have done. Also, we as the European Cardano community, we started like 1 year ago, also without any funding whatsoever. And we do it because we believe in decentralization. We believe in empowering people, etc. So definitely can relate there. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah. And not only that, but if it wasn't for Catalyst, probably we would never met, and we would never started this community, because we met with the town hall of Catalyst, and everybody was trying to have their idea funded, and we met, and we decided to start all of this. So we are very thankful to Catalyst in general. There are a lot of the things that can be improved, but it's an amazing opportunity.
And if we're talking about Catalyst, we should also mention that we still have a fund going on 11. So if you don't know what to type on your keyboard, just go to the idea scale or in your voting app and type European Cardano Community and leave use all your wallets because they're boring and they need action.
No, I think we are doing quite a pretty job here, and we are trying to push every Cardano project and to gain traction for everybody. So I think we deserve a vote. Now I stop with spam.
Should we move on? Should we move on because we all have
move on.
Time constraints?
Thank you very much, Alec and James.
Alec, I think you have a closing remark.
Yeah, if you don't mind me closing, I was just going to say
please.
Two things we're super excited about. One is our API release. We're releasing our API. So we have access to all the data. And so releasing that at a cheap price, cheap rate for the ecosystem to flourish. I think this is going to really help us flourish. And number two is we've been asked for a while about tax tools, TapTools, and we're releasing that product and we're super excited about it. This is the first time where you're really going to have a true ability to, type in your wallets and get the true amount that you owe to taxes if you do your taxes. So at the end of the day, that's it. I appreciate you guys having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Let's go for the second guest of the evening, Financial Fox.
Hey.
Hello. Hello, Ben.
Hi.
Stefania, the floor is yours.
Oh, well, what do you want me to talk about?
Whatever you prefer. We are in a very friendly environment here, so if you feel confident to talk about the project, what you're doing.
But before that,
talk about whatever you want.
We are also super interested in your personal journey. So
yes, exactly. From a personal point of view.
Right. So that's the personal journey is a journey of resilience, a journey of the determination to do something that you enjoy doing. So that's when I arrived in the UK, I was 24, 23. I was doing a master's degree. I didn't know anybody. I came here with a suitcase. I couldn't even speak English properly. I went working in a host family, looking after children. It was like, crazy stuff. And then I managed to get into a master's degree, become a journalist, freelance journalist, and then I moved into financial market, the small cap, mid cap, and I joined oil and gas company, and I was head of investor relation and PR. The company went from 50 million to 500 million. It was a great day, built up a massive investor following. We were using all social media at the time, which was very new, in 2013 at the time. Then I went solo. I started my own agency doing IPOs and helping company on the stock market. That's my background. 2017, through a client of mine, I got into crypto and blockchain, and before they were too expensive, exactly. And I fell in love with the space. One of the first people I interviewed was actually Charles. I was reading his bio on the internet, and I was saying, right, I need to talk to this guy. He seems smart, and he's young, he talks sense. And I reached out to him, and he was so friendly, and he said, yes, I'm going to come on your show. Because the Financial Fox was doing interview with CEO, but when I discovered crypto, I want to do more in the space. So basically it was one of the first people in the digital assets, crypto, blockchain space that I got on the show. And I've always been fascinated by him because I think, there are not many people, they are good leaders. And Charles is the perfect example of a good leader. He doesn't get too much involved in managing, companies and, things, operation. He has got people doing that, but he has got the vision and he's driving community. I think he has got that charisma. He has got the ability to lead and get the community excited. I think that's and he's super intelligent, and yeah, I really think he's extraordinary. I was really fascinated by what IOHK was building. I briefly did this. I think I worked with IOHK for a year or so. That was mainly on the provenance identity side. And I love the community. I connected with so many projects there. The Financial Fox, as I said, this is produced by my PR agency, which is Cassiopeia. And we started to do interview with CEOs. And then 2017, we started to interview more people in the crypto space. I think I've interviewed most of the L1, L2 project. I have done lots of interviews also in the Web3, which I don't like to call it Web3 anymore because it's more, it's actually frontier technology, really. So intersection between AI, what NFTs has opened up in terms of like creator economy, digital ownerships, also innovation in finance with fintech. So we kind of cover everything that is frontier technology, but I have got a solid backbone of a blockchain, obviously, that I want to still unpack because, obviously we are getting back to a more positive market. Let's not call it bull market. I'm fascinated. So just to give you an example, I'm really fascinated by what Bitcoin is doing with the ordinance, the layer 2, because just as an example of like how the community is experimenting and is building. And obviously on the other side, you see Cardano that is much more developed in terms of community. And I'm curious to see at the level of creator economy, NFT, metaverse, what Cardano is going to bring. I'm really interested in the layer 2 as well, stablecoin and identity, obviously. So that's kind of like theme that I wanna see more from the Cardano community and project. So yeah, we are open for business. We partner with projects that want to have visibility. And we basically put together, they can come on our channel, we can do M&A, and what I think it works really well is do panel discussion with other tough leaders in the space. So, anybody interested can just reach out. Yeah, we are very curious. We are foxes. So we are really curious. I'm also planning to release some NFTs. So will be different NFTs on different chain. And I'm definitely going to come to Cardano as well. I was actually talking to Clay Nation, Claymates, about maybe doing something together, maybe with a fashion angle. We still don't know, but when I come to the Cardano community for the drop, I think I will probably be doing something with them. I think they are awesome. I love Lena and Issy, and yeah, let's see.
What are your favorite chains, as you just mentioned it? Or there's Cardano with the great community, and the other community, which is great, is the ordinals. I would be interested also in why is the Bitcoin ordinal community so different to the other Bitcoin community, to the hardliners?
Yeah, so I think what is interest to me in the ordinals community is that it's very new. And there is a lot of experimentation. They are actually putting art on the chain, which is all debatable, what should be on the chain, what shouldn't be on the chain. But it's very interesting, some element of innovation they have got when it comes down to provenance, for example. that because it's really a digital artifact on the blockchain, is not a digital certificate that point to the blockchain. So it's a different concept of digital artifact, which I find very interesting. Is a community that is very open as well to other chain. They are not maxi. So I don't, the maxi element, I'm not sure that I agree too much with that. I think Bitcoin is a great chain because it's proven to be very resilient, is fully decentralized, is store of value, and Bitcoin, is the godfather of crypto. So I would definitely say that at the core of my heart, I really, I like Bitcoin. And then if you have to tell me the other one that I really like for different reason, I don't want to put one and then the second best is not that, is definitely Cardano. Because of the community. And I think if you have got the community there, you have kind of everything, right? Is the community that make the change, is not the tech, because if there is no adoption and there is no building on it, I think the community is really everything. And then you have got the leader, which is great. I think those are the two one. And then there are other chains that might perform well for some specific use case, which, is great. I have got some question about Ethereum future and Polygon future and some other chain future. I just have got question mark. So I don't know. What I can tell you is that last year I was holding different position in different coins, and I sold everything, and I'm just in Bitcoin and Cardano, ADA. So that's my position.
Which does make you a maxi.
This is somehow related to the decentralization aspect, because I'm researching a lot of new projects, upcoming projects, and every time I dig deeper, this topic of how transparent is the distribution of initial tokens, etc. Those kind of things are the things that scare me at the moment from new projects that appear very interesting, but when looking a bit deeper, this decentralization aspect is missing, in my opinion, in many cases.
Yeah,
Is
100%.
your reason or a different reason?
No, I think I agree 100% about the transparency. I think another aspect is about security and the way that you build things. And I remember having a conversation with Charles about how Cardano is built. So I put him a question like, Cardano is always slow, arrive always late to the party. It's taking ages for the technology to unfold or its potentiality. And he was explaining to me the resilience, the importance to have a technology that is resilient. And, that's the reason why they never been hacked. That's the reason why before you make sure that what you want to release is not going to break. And the importance of that, or, all this paper research that's been written about Cardano. And I see his point. And I think that's also very important if you want to build for long-term change. I mean, that's what blockchain is trying to do, is trying to change the humanity for the better. And if you go out with, let's go out fast and fix the problem, I don't know. I don't think that's, I'm not so sure about that's the right approach. So I think you need to build the fundamental first. And, see about like identity. Identity is a big problem. And, to talk about identity, you are talking to government bodies, you are talking to big institutions, you are talking to, this is a B2G approach. It's not a B2C or a B2B. So, you need to, when you stand with those people, you need to stand solid. And if you stand shaky, then there are problems even for the institution that decide to adopt you. So that's kind of like my views. But, it's everything that is happening right now. It's very interesting. I mean, the other aspect is about these all tokenization things. And, you know, you see even the UK now with the digital asset sandbox, different way they want to approach security. And it's all fascinating. I think ultimately we are going to see what sticks and what doesn't stick. And, you know, definitely some... I think some layer one, some project that would just slowly, slowly die, or, you know, maybe narrow down a niche, but not be so relevant as they used to be. Yeah.
Can I ask a question that might be a bit delicate? Because currently in the community it's going on with the influencers about shilling certain projects, etc. I would consider you an influencer. What is your stance to this? Because from my position, I would say it is a common business model currently, and it was before crypto, that influencers would get approached by projects and then basically be the commercial partner to provide the entry to the project. Is this different to crypto, or is this, because I mean, yes, people can lose money here, that's clear.
100%.
I could lose money if I buy a shitty product as well, right? And I could hurt myself if I buy, I don't know, a cream that suddenly pulls my nose off or something like that. And an influencer told me it's getting longer, right?
Yeah.
Do you have an opinion on this? Or
Yeah. So like that's it's very interesting. And I think, for instance, here in the UK, they make it quite clear that if you are promoting, let's say, anything that can get people to lose money, right? You need, first of all, to disclose that this is an advert that you are promoting, and you have to make sure that you tell people that there is no financial advice, but the content is only for informational purposes. So that's the approach that I'm taking. And this is the same approach that I had before as a PR, you know, we have as a PR agency in a regulated market. So you cannot promote a stock because people can lose money. It's like you cannot promote a token because it's even more volatile than a stock. So upfront, you say, first of all, do you have got interest in the company? Are you paid by the company? Are you an agent, a representative of the company, of the project? And second, this is your view. So I like Cardano, I invest in ADA, okay? But I'm not telling you or anybody else, do invest in ADA. You know, I can tell you I do, and that because A, B, C, D. But if you decide to do it, first of all, do due diligence, do your own research, get into the community, start to learn as much as you can. And second, then after you have done that, if you still want to invest, don't invest anything more than what you can afford to lose, right? And also take responsibility. It's your money. If you lose, don't come and blame me, because I told you it's very volatile and you can lose all your money that you have invested. So you need to be upfront and you need to say. Now, when you said about influencers get approached by project, what I like to do, and I've been doing on a, you know, most of the time, it was actually me approaching a project and say, I actually like what you do, and I would like to get involved. Sometimes it's the other way, a project come to me, but yeah, I think if I don't believe in it, I probably I won't do it unless, you know, unless they offer me crazy money, but you know, that's it will just have to be too crazy. But I won't do it anyway. So I think authenticity is very important to kind of like whatever you say has got impact. And if you don't believe in a project, I don't think you should promote it. I mean, I give you a stupid example. I used to work in fashion when I was very young, and in the fashion industry, there are lots of influencers. What I'm seeing is that an influencer of a big brand get paid money and get free clothes to promote on Instagram, right? You know what they do after they've done the promotion? They sell it on Vestiaire Collective straight away. They took the clothes, they take the clothes, they do their dance, and then they take the clothing or the shoes or the bag and they resell it straight away. So how bad is that, right? If you really love that brand, you will keep it, you will collect it. That's why I so much think that like one area that should be disrupted is the influencer, where is the community. Somebody that is part of the community should be rewarded as an influencer because he's the first client, he's the first users, he's you know, he loves the product, and you know, you should be prepared to put yourself forward for a client because you are the first one that believe in it. So I think that's yeah, you know, any influencer should take that approach when promoting any client, you know, any project that becomes a client. Then
Thank you. Thank you. That's a good word. Appreciate it.
thank.
Should we move on if there are no?
Yeah, if there are no questions from the other guests, participants,
No,
I
think-
assume there are not. So
That-
thank you,
that-
Stefania. It
Thank
was
you so
really
much.
interesting.
One second.
Would
We
like
have
to say thank you so much for being here with us and sharing your journey as a person, also your project. And hopefully we'll have you soon again. The same goes for the TapTools team. But yeah, let's move on to the next guest. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Riccardo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Davide.
And
Thank
feel
you
free to come back whenever you want. We are meeting every second
Yeah.
Thursday. If you just
I
want.
love what you're doing. It's brilliant. This is
thank
all
you.
part of the community that we are, you know, we are talking about. It's great.
Appreciate it.
We just have to close this one out that we have actually a Cardano Linux and we have a Cardano Firefox.
Yeah, indeed.
All
Very
right.
nerdy, very
Oh.
nerdy.
Getting
Good,
ready
Marcus.
for Simon?
Yeah.
Getting ready?
Let's go. Our third guest.
Hey, folks.
Hey, Simon.
Hey. Folks, can I share my screen? I just
Of
have
course you can. Let
Yeah.
me.
couple of slides. Cool. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes,
Can we
we can.
go, everybody? Hey,
Works.
folks. Thanks very much. So let me see. I've got my stopwatch here. Well, we got like just 15 minutes, right? Or just under 15
Yeah,
minutes.
more or less.
Yeah.
Yes.
A little bit more or less, that's fine. We just want to.
Oh, yeah, cool. So yeah, I will just give you a little bit of background about myself and Open Bank Project. We have a couple of people from Tasobi Stroke Open Bank Project on the call as well. So Florence here and in Berlin as well. I'm in Berlin and Chris is here in El Salvador. So I'm not sure if they'll chime in. And folks, please do ask any questions or make suggestions, right? Because your input would be very, yeah, welcomed. So a little bit about us. So back in 2010, I had this kind of bonkers idea in a sense that all banks should have open APIs. So that people could access their data and we could have more innovation around banking, right? And so I gave a couple of talks here in Berlin about this kind of concept, right? APIs with protected with OAuth, JSON, all this good stuff. And we were kind of incubated in London at the FinTech Innovation Lab, and then later at the Open Data Institute, which was like set up by Sir Tim Berners-Lee, who made the first web server and all that kind of stuff. And through that, we made some kind of political chattings and so on, and we got in touch with the UK government. And so UK open banking really came out of our encouragement to open up the bank's APIs and stuff. So over the years, we've worked with many banks. we were kind of doing like what's known as API sandboxes back then, and also innovation events, so hackathons and so on. And back in around, I guess, 2014, we did our first hackathons, for instance, with RBS in the UK, well, one of the big 5 banks in the UK, Ulster Bank and so on. And we actually gave away Bitcoin for developers to get them out of bed on a Sunday morning, you know, to come and show up and get coding and stuff like that. And there were 2 basically main ideas behind this kind of open banking idea. One was transparency, so to bring greater financial transparency to the world, to target corruption and fraud. And the other was to bring kind of greater innovation around bank accounts, right? So allowed third-party developers to connect and so on and so forth. And I think the second one of those, like this greater innovation, has really happened as a result of open banking, but not so much the transparency, or rather there is more potential now for transparency, but it hasn't happened to the extent that it probably could do. And you know, I think if we look around the world, you know, corruption and so on continues to lead to many problems, misuse of public funds, and so on and so forth. So I've been gradually interested in blockchains and so on and so forth. A couple of years ago, I discovered Cardano. And actually, one of the reasons that I really like it and kind of, you know, decided to invest in it a little bit and follow it as a technology is because of its functional base, right? So at Open Bank Project, which is open source API stack for banks, we use Scala as our primary technology, and this is functional, good functional code base. And Cardano is has Haskell very much in the mix, right, which is a purely functional language. Actually, at the Scala Days conference in London in 2012, I was very happy to be on the stage just before Simon Peyton-Jones of the Haskell Glasgow compiler was getting on the stage. I was getting off the stage, so I met him back then. So anyway, I'm into this functional programming idea. And the idea that I want to talk about tonight is really T-Euro, right? So actually, we previously called it a little bit T-Coin or so, but basically the idea is to have a fully transparent digital token, you know, on the Cardano network, and this like a little bit flips blockchains a little bit on their head, right? So blockchains are always transparent. In other words, anyone can read the blockchain. You can, you know, you can look at all the addresses and the transactions, but generally you can never kind of reverse engineer those addresses, right? You can never know that this address is owned by Simon Redfern or by Tasobi GmbH or by Sony Pictures or Madonna or whatever. And so the idea with T-Euro is just basically to say, okay, it's a currency which it's a stable coin. So we know recently there's this Cardano stable coin, which is cool. And T-Euro, the difference is that it's fully transparent, i.e. the smart contracts will block any transactions if the from address and the to address is not KYC'd. Yeah, so and that will lead to interesting effects, right? So theoretically, you could see that, oh, Madonna paid for a coffee, and that coffee shop then paid for someone who then, engaged in child slavery or whatever, right? Or vice versa, that person then, sent money to charity or did lots of good things. So in other words, it's like bringing a creating a really transparent financial subsystem in a sense. And I'm not suggesting that everyone's going to use that because, like obviously privacy in some financial matters is very important. I'm standing in Berlin, so everybody around here is definitely, very, very conscious of this kind of privacy. But for public funds and in certain situations, it could be really good to have a transparent financial network. So if you think about taxpayers' money, government overseas funding projects, internal country projects, basically the public can see where the money goes. So we started working on this a year or two ago. So far, our code, we got a bit stuck with the Cardano code actually, and we implemented a bit in Solidity, but we want to refocus, maybe use it as a side chain, or maybe rewrite the code or in Cardano natively. So we've the code that we have currently is on GitHub. The link here is showing that, and I'll put this PDF in the chat so that you can have a look. And we have applied for some Catalyst kind of ideation funding, and the link is there as well. So I don't pretend to understand totally about blockchain stuff, but I'm getting into it. I think this Aiken language, which can produce Plutus code, is really cool. So I've been getting into that a little bit. I'm a coder for sure. So obviously, when you come to blockchain, as a technologist, there are many new concepts and things you have to wrap your ideas around. But we've got a good small team, and we're looking to expand that to see what we can do with this project. So if anyone has ideas about how we can achieve this, then would be good. I don't know if there's any questions. Marcus, you're asking this question. Yeah, totally ask questions, folks. Yeah, Toiro. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So someone did mention this. So in Germany, if you say Toiro, that means it's expensive. So yeah, okay. So I mean, maybe it's a work in progress name. Who knows? Or maybe we use that as a
Analogy.
as a I don't know.
How can people join and contribute? I mean, I see there's a GitHub page, but what do you expect from the community?
Well, I mean, if you would be so kind as to vote for us on the Catalyst thing, that would be great, obviously. I think as part of that, if we get funded for it, and who knows if we will this time or not, but we would be looking for a Cardano developer who's expert in this stuff, so that this person can teach some of the rest of us more about it and contribute. And yeah, I mean, you can reach out to us via GitHub, I guess, or put a comment on the Catalyst thingy, and then we can get in touch. It would be really good to you know, to discuss how best to do this. I've also been in touch with Matthew from Mehen, and he said that some of their code will be made open source. So once they launch, so you know, we don't want to reinvent the wheel if we can help it, of course. So yeah.
There is I think you were there when James from Gimbal Labs was in the space.
Mhm.
Maybe that is helpful for the team.
Okay.
They have a quite good developer community, and they teach a lot about Cardano.
Ah,
It's not Icon, I think, but also with Blink Labs, getting in touch with Chris here. Um, they are very good in what they do as well.
okay,
Um,
cool.
an option, the community, that you have Python in there. So Blink Labs would be Go. They have an open library.
Oh
So
yeah.
what suits you there? I think that there are already communities that could help you in advance
Mhm.
if that is applicable.
Mhm.
Um, and I think you also have a project space in our Discord server, if
Ah,
I'm not mistaken.
right.
Um, that's where Stefania, if you want to also, and the guys from TapTools, if you want to just create a little project in there. It's not a big thing, but it surely exposes or adds a little bit more to your visibility in our community. Just join our Discord server, and there's a project link in there. I
Can
can post.
you
Yeah,
put Marcus the link in the chat?
yes, I will. I will
Okay.
do so.
Simon, I would have a question regarding your timeline. So after, let's say, depending on the funding from Catalyst, but what timeline are you looking at? Because I think the environment is eager to get some stable coins, and euro, of course, is a very important currency.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm a bit allergic to giving timelines, you know, but yeah, I think if we, you know, yeah, I'm well used to kind of agile development and doing stuff fast. So especially if we get some funding, and I mean, what does anyone think about this idea, by the way? Do you think it's a cool idea, or is it completely bonkers?
Well, from my point of view, I'm very engaged in different initiatives that have a charity or a non-profit aspect to them.
Okay.
And transparency and openness is something that I really like and enjoy. And this is why when you said, okay, if the two addresses are KYC'd, you know, they would be allowed transactions, otherwise not, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, things started yeah, getting confused in my head because it's like a paradigm change towards.
Yeah, totally.
And
Yeah.
on the other side, I mean, there are governments, I think it's in Scandinavia, right, where the income, for example, of politicians get published
Yeah.
regularly, or you can
Yeah.
see what your neighbor earned, you know, last month, etc. And I think there is some value, some benefit to the social piece by having this openness and transparency. So I think there is going to be a community part that is really going to like the idea. But that's only me at the moment. I don't
Yeah.
know. How do the other participants see that?
Simon, I have a question in regards to the digital euro, which will come in next time. What will be the difference between the digital euro and your stablecoin?
Well, good question, Marcus. So basically, the digital euro will just have the normal privacy rules, right? So it will be opaque as usual, right? Whereas the T euro will be really open for everyone to see. So every transaction you'll be able to see. Okay, so if I pay my piano tuner in the T euro, you'll be able to see that, right? And we see that like there's this payment system by PayPal. What's it called in the States? Oh, I forgot the name of it, but sorry?
Venmo?
Yeah, Venmo. Yeah. And that you can do social payments, right? You can opt to like show you know, that you're paying your hairdresser or whatever, right? But T Euro would be always on transparency, right? So it would be, you know, so if you deal in T Euros or whatever we call it in the end, then it will be you know, it will be yeah, always only transparent, right? So yeah, that would be the difference. But I think, you know, there is so someone on our Catalyst applications, someone said that, you know, the main lack of no, the main lack of the main problem with stable coins is that there's no stable coin. All stable coins are linked to fiat currencies, right? But you know, I think we could have a T ARDA or whatever, right? Which is, you know, which is only transparent but is pegged to ARDA. Could do. So I think this code base could be used in, you know, in various different ways, and it could, yeah. I mean, they could be pegged to each other, right? The stable coins.
Then I have another question. That means, in fact, for example, if T Euro in the future and currency in the midnight chain, just as an example, that on top will come the regulations from the blockchain. That depends how open it is, really how transparent it is, depending from the blockchain.
Say again, Marcus. What? Please say.
Yeah, midnight, for example. Midnight will be implemented GDPR, yeah, privacy, information protection, and so on. And if you come with a T Euro in midnight in the future, and they have on fundamental implemented or basically implemented GDPR regulations, what does it mean for the transparency?
Sorry, could you explain what midnight is? I'm ignorant about that.
It's a side chain or a partner chain, is in a development state that will be focusing on a data privacy regulation, country specific. Yeah, for example, in Germany, it's not allowed to see the transaction from one person to another person, usually. Yeah, and
yeah. I mean, obviously, GDPR is yeah. We have to be compliant with that, of course. But I think it's.
I mean, sorry. I think one aspect, Marcus, is if I understood correctly, Midnight will offer features for enforcing or let's say allowing privacy, but it's not necessarily that way. So if the users opt in or decide that they want to share it, that would be compatible, in my understanding, both to Cardano or also to Midnight. So you don't have to protect everything in Midnight. You can. That's my understanding. Yeah.
It's my choice. Yeah.
Just they thinking to rework GDPR a little bit so it's just applicable to bigger institutions rather than to the to SMEs. But if you're getting T Euro getting launched, then you probably will come into the field of becoming a bigger institution. Right to be forgotten is a huge thing here.
Yeah, I mean, right to be forgotten is not really very compatible with blockchain in general, right?
You have to probably message this somewhere around because I just see from the regular web space where you have had these is it called allegations? If you just use Google Fonts and you don't store it on your own server, right? You get and that's where it somehow starts. And I think if you're going for transparency and compliance in that regards, then you probably have to encounter that in.
Yeah, totally. So I think there's a whole different set of questions, right, for compliance. You know, so like governments will probably love it, right? Or, you know, in some ways people will love it, and some other things will there will be difficult things. But I think if you have the informed consent of people, right? Yeah, but right to be forgotten. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm.
Feel welcome to rejoin everybody who was here. Even you, Ricardo and Davide, rejoin if you like next time.
We have to, right?
Yeah, I will think about it. I think about it.
Thanks
We
for
see
the
you all, guys.
opportunity, folks. Thanks for the opportunity.
Of
Thank
course.
you for being here, Simon. Very interesting topic indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Hey, Martin. Thank you, everybody. See you in 2 weeks, hopefully. Enjoy the rest of January and look in our event calendar. We have really cool guests again coming up, and it was an amazing space. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much. Have a
you.
good evening, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Uh,
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Alex.
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye, Martin. Bye.